Hi, welcome back to Crystal Wellness Studio. Today is September 27th and we are finally moving forward, hopefully, fingers crossed, with our Botswana Agate. So this has been running in course 6090 grit since August 8th. This means it is the completion of week 6. It's our 7th week working with it, but it's the completion of week 6 in course. So that's a long time. And as you can see, there's still some shaping issues, but I might just keep this as normal stone. But as we work with it in course, more of this host rock has been removed, which was our goal. And it has still has a little bit of pitting. And I don't know if we're going to continue with this to week 7 or just hold this piece back until I run some more of this, because I'm kind of getting anxious to move forward. Yeah, there's still too many for this particular piece, but boy, this banding is really pretty and the color is gorgeous. So my hands are still covered in slurry. Had some things happen today, you know, life. And after I rinsed all the barrels and, you know, got them assembled for the videos, life interrupted, and about 2.5 hours later, I'm finally coming back to it. And the stones are, I don't know, I think there's still slurry on a lot of them, so we're going to give them a really good bath. Let's move this camera out some here. I'm going to give them a good bath and before we move on, because I want to get any slurry that has stayed on it gone. And our little soap and water. I'm using a toothbrush. The soap that's in here is just Palmolive dish soap. Again, I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything for that. I'm no affiliate. I'm just letting you know what I'm using. So, yeah, and just a regular toothbrush. And it's just regular tap water. And our tap water is filtered, so I don't know. Take that what it may. So, I mean, you can see there's still stuff on here. This beautiful pattern. But this host rock never came out. And I think I'm either going to have to use a Dremel tool because I don't want to lose any more stone. I don't know what's happening with it. Hang on, let's move this camera. Here we go. Anyway, so the whole purpose of telling you about the nap is that the slurry dried on the stone some, so we want to make sure we get all that slurry off before we go into any further stage, even if it's the same. I'm going to need a rinse bowl here. Beautiful pattern. It's almost chevron. And I know that this is natural and this is part of the stone, but it detracts from the elegance to me. So I'm going to have to do something to get rid of that. And this is just the host stone. That is not slurry. Again, that'd be nice to get that milky part off. I don't know, I'm really in a quandary about what to do. I don't know if I should go one more week in coarse grit, or if I should set these aside and get out a Dremel tool and kind of cheat and take off some of the parts that are bugging me. I don't know. I'm not sure. Tell me what would you do, audience? Put it in the comments below. I'd really like to know. After working with something for 6 weeks, would you give it 7? In the same grit cycle? This is that one that has all those lovely little... Yeah. And you really have to scrub. Oh, that didn't help. By the way, did you know that rocks get slippery when they're wet? Anyway. Yeah, see, that was just slurry that was dried in there. Yeah, that is a fracture line. I don't know. Some very beautiful patterns. They're nice sized pieces for agate. Again, this particular flavor is Botswana. Just gonna set these in the soap, wash them off camera. What I want to do is take a look at them and see, like, that's not smooth to the finger or the fingernail, so do I move it forward or do we go one more week? That's a pit. A crevice. That's a pit. That's a crevice. Boy, you can really see the pattern coming. It's really pretty. A little translucent. I don't know if you can see. So would you move it forward or give it one more week? This part feels lovely smooth. I got grit in my fingernail. Sorry about that. A couple of spots from the host rock. A couple divots there. I don't know, I talk about a Dremel tool, which I kind of feel is cheating with rock tumbling, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It all depends on your level of perfection and your tolerance for the natural host rock. This smoothed really nice, and as you can see, it's fairly dry. Let's get it wet. I mean, it's just brown, but it's all smoothed out, and a lot of the host rock, all those little pits and everything came out. Like, see, there's one more. But all the rest that were on the other side came out. There's a little chip there. A little natural inclusion. This looks like a bruise, but it's really just from the host rock. And then here, I mean, you can barely see any of the agate, and it's coming. It's really pretty. That looks like a flaw, and it's not. It's just the natural. It's a pretty little piece. Almost looks like carnelian. I'm not seeing a whole lot of the amethyst banding. Maybe it is carnelian. Because I'm not seeing any of the characteristic. Let's see what we can do about the camera light. The characteristic banding, so I'm thinking it really might just be carnelian. Same with this little piece. So as you can see, even teeny tiny. It has banding, so I think those other two are carnelian. Carnelian? Depends on your accent. This is all the host rock side. Just, you know, finally coming off. There's a little bit left there. Look at that. Just a little bit on the edge. So here's more of the host. And then there's a little bit coming. I don't know. See the lines on this one. See the fracture line. See the pitting from the host rock. I think that part of this is tree agate. Oh. I'm gonna light in further. All that pitting is host rock. I wonder how many times you can say that in one video. Okay. It's really interesting how it's got that fire. Just that little tiny bit of fire right there. The rest of it's kind of just blah. That looks really cool. We really need to get these in water. This is amazing. I think this is my favorite piece. There's one that's closely like it, but this wraps around the stone and kind of curves a tiny bit. I just think that's really cool. I hate to say this needs to go in for one more week, but I think it does. I'm just tired of it being in coarse grit. We're not really losing a whole lot of mass anymore. And the slurry's coming out a little runny. So I don't know. I mean, I'm using the right amount of grit because it's coming out runny instead of grainy. This is a little purpley. And these are dry, so they're already starting to get a tad bit of a shine. And they have all those other stages to get through. It's just smooth. Look at things like that, yeah. Because everything kind of dried out a little bit, and they need a really good soapy bath. Get all these little grit particles out. And this banding pattern is why people love agate so much. It's for these little patterns. Who would think they were inside those rocks? This one has eyes. That's what these little circles are called. So can you see all those? There's 2, 3, 4, 5. This was a particularly, well, that's a good word to wrap around my tongue, hard batch. The rough was really not in like grade A shape. And I think that's part of why it's taking so long. I mean, when rough is that, I hate to use the word rough, but when rough is that rough, I think we should start it in 4670 grit instead of 6090. Just to knock off that initial, to give it a little jump start. Oh, that's pretty. Not so much on that side. That's really pretty. This is dry. What? Just a couple more pieces. We haven't really spent a whole lot of time with the Botswana Agate in these videos because it was just, we just knew it had to go back to course, so move it forward. You know, for the sake of brevity on the videos. Boy, that's a rough rock. That may never happen. Okay. It's got a natural indent with a bunch of rough spots. The color's pretty. That's a really nice piece. And get all the slurry off of it. And by nice, I'm talking about how much of the banding. I'm not a particular favorite of dark colors, even though they're very grounding. They're very good for us. Really nice pattern. Okay, that is it for the Botswana Agate this week. As much as I want to move it forward to medium, I'm going to do one more week in rough. Nope, I'm going to do one more week in coarse. So I'm going to get all these little beauties scrubbed up, rinsed off really well. We're going to re-scrub the barrel and charge it up, get it ready for the coming week. Okay. We will be back with the next barrel. Okay, we are back with Peach Aventurine, which we started last week, so it's only been 1 week in course. And as you can see, it has made some amazing progress. And we did this with no ceramic media in it. I think that really made a difference. This looks like it might crack. But we'll see. See that? It has a lot of work left to be done. And we've already gotten some chips out of here when we were cleaning it. But boy, this is just really a beautiful peachy color. Really happy with its progress after just 1 week. Boy, look at the pattern. But it has more work to be done, so it's definitely going to go back into course for another week. Some of this still has slurry. Let's see, we got that out. Just going to get a little scrub with our toothbrush. Give it a little rinse. Let it dry. And that's not slurry, that's stone. Okay. Pretty cool. So, wow. Really liking this Peach Aventurine after 1 week. Let's see if we have any more chips in here. And we will put it back in, and we will put it in with ceramic media. Now that we got the most of the host rock, as I say that and I turn this over, oh, well, we're off camera, apologize for that. Hopefully that'll come up next week. That's really stunning. And as you can see, it has some lighter pieces as well. That's really thin. And it wasn't for this right here, which I think is where this little chip came from. It would have been ready to move forward. It's like so close. This is a nice dark piece. Just lovely. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to put some ceramic media in here to prevent it from breaking down further. Really got to get in there and scrub sometimes because I left this a little too long before I was able to get back to it. Kind of had some stuff happen. Okay. Not super worried about the cleanliness on this, as long as there's no cross-contamination, obviously, because it's going back into the same 60-90 grit. So there's a piece that came right off there, which is probably this one, I would imagine. It's probably what came off. So overall, I mean, if it's just those three little pieces, it's not chipping bad, so I'm very pleased with that. These are drying quickly. Well, that's interesting. I have been off camera the whole time. Look at the shape of that. And there's a fracture line all the way around. I wonder if it's going to get knocked off at some point. Huh, we'll have to keep an eye out for that one. It's a very unique shape. This one's super close. Look at the yellow striations in that. And there's a fracture line. Hope we can work that out. Very lovely. I'm going super quick here because it's going right back in. But the difference, from last week to this week is amazing. As it always is. It doesn't matter how well you know the rough. Once it's gone through 1 week in course, you don't really know what it's going to turn out to be like. Okay, and this is a really light piece. So we will recharge this barrel and put some ceramic media in it and see it next week. Okay. Amazonite, or Amazonite, whichever you prefer to call it. It has been 4 full weeks in course and 60-90 grit, and it could use another one. It's getting really close. I think the mistake we made was adding, because we thought it was going to be more fragile, I put a lot of ceramic media in there, and I don't think it allowed the grit to really do its job. So I think a standard practice from now on is the first week we do a stone in course, we're not going to use ceramic media. And we'll start using it the second week forward. But as you can see over here, we've got some chips. These are the chips that came off this week. And so we've got our little baggie that we're keeping them in. Let's just put those in there. Then we have this little tiny stone, which I'm sure was a chip at one point, a larger chip, but I think I'm going to keep it in with the chips. So as you can see, it's a lot bigger than the other sizes. But we have a project that we're going to use that for. So these are smoothing down nicely. We're getting a lot closer. There's that yellow still. Wow. This is that one we went after with the hammer the other day. Really, really stunning pieces. But not ready. I mean, you can see, not ready. Sometimes it looks like you could just break it with your hand. Nice pit there. Wow. That is going to cause issues at some point, I'm sure. But then there's pieces like this. I don't know. That still needs help too. So I'm just going to stop saying that. Look at how pretty that color is. And this is dry. See the sheen on that? Hasn't even gone through the finer polishes yet. I think this is actually ready to go to medium, and I don't even want to put it in. Put that there. Oh, this is going to end up being a junk rock. Oh, as you can see, I just chipped that off. Yeah. This is going to be a junk rock. And when I say a junk rock, I mean it's just not gonna get what we need it to be. Yeah, that just broke right off in my hand, as you saw. So we're gonna add that to the chips. Add that to the chips. I don't even want that to go back in rough. Okay. Got some really beautiful color. Oh, there's another one. Got some beautiful color. Really pretty sea green. And then the black, I believe, is tourmaline. Might be mica. I'm not really sure. I have to look that up. And I wonder if the yellow that was in that stone in this one is maybe, it could be pyrite. I'm not sure. It's a different color. Oh, isn't that stunning? Look at the pattern in that. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, I think this one we're just going to leave in there to move the grit and everything around. And we're going to continue. Yeah, this is definitely going in the chip bag because we are not going to allow it to ruin the rest of our little lovelies. Okay, we're going to recharge this for another week in coarse in the 6090 grit, and we'll move on to our next barrel. Okay. Zebra Jasper. I do not believe that is what this particular stone is. Let's clean it off just a little. It's a Jasper, all right, but I do not think it's zebra. These are zebra. Distinct stripe patterns. This one's super cool. It's been in course since September 13th. That's when we started it. So 9/19 was 1 week. Today is 2 weeks completed. 9/27, 2 weeks completed in course, and it's definitely going to need another run. Definitely going to need another run. I did not find any chips so far, so I'm very pleased with that. That's super pretty. Well, I think we have some slurry left on that. Give that a really good wash. This week some of the rocks had to dry it out a little bit before we could get to them for inspection. Wow, it's already got a sheen. Jasper just polishes up so nicely, and it has so much left to run. When I say that, I mean it has like medium and polish and pre-polish, all that stuff to go through. Okay. It's got a little bit of pink in it. It's absolutely pretty. Fix that lighting there. But as you can see, it still needs a little bit more work. But we'd like to inspect each stone because some of them might be ready to move forward, like that one piece of Amazonite that we had in the other video, or earlier. Gosh, that is like... I think that one's ready to go to medium. Pretty. Almost looks like marble. I really like these. This is my favorite time of the week when I get to inspect all my little beauties and see how they're coming. But, as you can see, it has a little more shaping. A little more shaping. It's really progressing nicely. It's sort of like when we did the Kambaba Jasper. That too progressed really nicely. So close. If we were not moving forward with another stage of course, I would have probably left that for medium. But because we're running another one, we might as well get them as perfect as we can. This one's so thin. But this tip, can you see that? See? That's why it's not moving forward. Definitely not. Ooh, pretty. Feels super duper rough. Super rough. Okay. Oh, that stone. Okay. Oh. Let's see if that's whole stone or if that's the slurry that got dried into there. Kind of turns into cement if you're not careful. And this week, we just had stuff happen. Life does that to us. And I don't know if that's going to come out or not. Let's get a pick. Well, it would help if my hands weren't wet. There we go. So we're just taking a dental pick. Get it from Amazon. See, that was slurry that would be coming out. Like this one's slurry. Okay. Ooh, I like the shape of this one. Right. Oh, come on, focus. This one's ready for medium. So far, only 2 pieces are ready for medium. Sorry about that. Wow. Look at the colors. Look at the pattern. That is stunning. Not ready to move forward. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I've been talking a lot this week. It almost looks like picture Jasper. Yep, no way. Nope. Not picture Jasper. I do not know what it is. I'm going to have to look this up. But it's really stunning. It's like a really deep purple, almost like a, like a maroon, and then it's brown, not black. I don't know if the camera can really show you that coloration. Got like 3 pieces of that in here. It's really cool. And we're going to continue. Yeah. Yeah, these are just not ready. Okay, so we had 2 pieces we could pull out and set aside this week. And what I do when I do that is I put them in a little baggie so that we know that they're ready for the medium stage. And what I'm going to do is put these in our grit wash water, our coarse grit wash water, and get all that slurry off of it, and then we're going to rinse it super well, and then we're going to put it in a baggie marked for when we do a medium run. All right, our little beauties, we'll see you next week. Zebra Jasper. Really interesting. Okay, we'll be back with the next barrel in just a moment. Here we have Howlite. It's been in coarse 6090 grit for 1 week, and it has made some amazing progress. Now, this has not had any ceramic media in it to cushion it, so it really worked on this rough beautifully. And it's really darn close to going to medium. I think a few more days, 1 more week. I don't really think it needs a full week. I think, just a few more days, it's going to be ready for medium. It has a chip out of it, and we have some chips over here. Not very many, which is lovely. Wow, look at the pattern on that one. Wow. But I think it has one or two tiny little imperfections that we want to get out. Wow, that is like 99.9% ready for medium. Let's see how light this pattern is. And these are dry, by the way. These are not wet at all. There. Now it's wet. Got a little bit of a yellow striping in there, which is kind of interesting. Little piece here. Divot there. Some leaves to come out there. Yeah, I don't think I have anything moving forward. Oof. Howlite's a very calming stone if you're quick to anger. And has a whole lot of other properties to it, but I just think they're beautiful. Just infinite patterns. Oh, if it wasn't for that right here, it would be ready for medium. Okay, we're going to add some ceramic media to this. We didn't have any in it before. And it's a softer stone, and we don't want it to start bruising. Oh, there's another chip right there. See that? Add that to our pile. And hopefully there won't be any more chipping next week, because we really want to move this forward because it feels so nice and I think it's so ready. So almost ready to go to medium. Gosh, if it wasn't for that, it'd be ready to go. Okay. That's our Howlite. 1 week in rough and ready to move. Darn close to move forward. Okay, there's no more chips there, so we have these chips. We have just a little baggie. And we keep these. I'm keeping these because I'm working on another project. And these chips are going to be needed. And then I just set this aside. If there's any more, we just keep adding to it. I have a whole container full of chips. So now, I didn't lose. I mean, this is a little over half full. A little less than half full. And so we didn't lose a lot of mass. So we're just going to add some ceramic media and put it in for 1 more week. Okay, we're going to move on to our next barrel. Snowflake Obsidian. That's what we're working on right now. It's pretty much dry. This has been running for 2 full weeks in course. Oh, I had a chip. So I think it's going to need a little bit more time on that piece. So it was sitting in slurry, and I need to find that piece that dried on here. So you see that? That's dried slurry. I hope to God. Let's take some water. Nope, that's host rock. See. Alright, why is this camera not focusing? Oh, here we go. There's slurry left on it. Oh, I saw one of these when I dumped it out that was really bad. Just take a toothbrush with a little bit of dish soap, scrub it off, rinse it, dry it. Much better. This feels like super close to medium, but there's just that one little spot. You see that? Right here. That little grit catcher. Oh man, the rest of the stone looks pretty nice. Snowflake Obsidian's really pretty. Looks like there might have been a tad bit of undercutting. Just a little bit. I don't know what the undercutting would come from unless there was a chip in here. And again, it was in rough, so I don't know. This feels like it's, no, right there. See, as soon as I say it's ready to go to medium, I find a spot that's very rough. Fingernail catches. Like the Howlite, I don't think this really needs a whole nother week. I think it just needs a few more days. And I'm being really super picky. A lot of people would just say these are fine to go to medium. Right there. That's why we're not going to put that in medium. Big one there. It's like you really don't even need your eyes. Just let your fingers feel. Right there. That one can go to medium. Set it aside. Just put these others back in the barrel because they're just not ready. And let's see what we have here.
Well, you're done.
All right, let's see how we're doing. You can see these just little one-offs that are keeping these beautiful stones from moving forward. This one can move forward. So we'll put that in our wash water to wait for these to catch up. They won't sit in the wash water. I'll just clean them up, put them in a baggie. And then they'll be ready for medium. As you can see, these little tiny ones here are very porous, and they're just going to be grit collectors, and they won't even work for my chip project. So I think we're just going to throw these out. I'd rather not have rocks ruined for false economy trying to save something. one's ready for medium. Hurrah! Not ready. But close. Not ready. Not ready. But awfully, awfully close. Awfully, awfully close. Boy, I don't know if that would come. Sorry, it was off camera. I don't know if this would come out in medium or not. There's another little one right there. These are all dry, so it's easier to do an inspection when they're dry, because sometimes the shininess of it being wet hides the imperfection. That's why I do the feel test, and it is just spectacular. This one's so ready. Nope. You can kind of see. Other than that, it's ready. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. 3 days, 4 days. I don't think this is going back in. See, again, it's really porous. And I know it's in a coarse stage, but I just think that this would cause undercutting. I mean, it hasn't so far, but it's only been in 2 weeks, so how could it really do a lot of damage? I don't know. This is not going back in. I'm going to get rid of this one. You know what? I'm going to hold this for a heavy coarse stage. Do an experiment with that one. It's got a little bit of slurry. Let's wipe it off. Oh, I think this one's ready. Ready for medium. Oh. I keep hitting the camera. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's ready for medium. Well, let's look at it wet. Black really, really comes out when it's wet. See how gray it looks when it's not? Okay, let's put that in a bath for when we move to medium. There's another one ready for medium. That's got a little slurry on it. That's got a little slurry on it. That little pink dot. Isn't that funny? I wonder what mineral that is. This is so close. It's just this one right here. It's keeping it from going. Oh, I'm so happy with the Snowflake Obsidian. I'm going to let this one go to medium, even though it has that one, because I want to use this as our experiment to see if that comes out in medium. And if it does, we've got stones that could move forward sooner. And we will know. That is slurry. And that is rough. Okay. And That needs to go back into rough for a little bit longer. Back into rough. And here are 2 chips that we found. We went through all the ceramic media. And we have our bag from last week of Snowflake Obsidian chips, and we will add it to there. And set this aside. So not bad. We didn't get a whole lot more chipping, just those couple, so that's awesome. So this stone with the host rock still on it looks like it could be, I don't know, I gotta throw it out. I think I'm just gonna, it hurts me to throw rocks out, and I don't actually put it in the garbage, I just put it out in the garden outside. I have a little pile that need to be taken outside. So, just not tumble worthy. Sorry, little guy. Bye. Alright, let's take a look at the... We've already gone through our ceramic media to see if it has any pieces, you know, of chips or whatever. So we've already gone through this. We're going to add it back to the barrel. The barrel is, I really want to save it for a smaller barrel. And I think I've got one coming up with the Kambaba Jasper. I think it'll be ready to go to polish, and I can have a polished barrel I've been holding, and I can move that in there. So this, because it's in the 45C, this is a 4-pound barrel, there's like a quarter of the barrel filled. So we're gonna hold this aside to switch barrels. And then we'll have something new to run, I'm fairly certain. Alright, we will be back. With a couple tiny barrels that are in coarse. I want to get all of our coarse stuff done, you know, one time here. Okay. All right. We'll see these next week. Quartz crystals. These are the clear quartz. That have been in 60-90 coarse grit for 1 week. And they're dry, mostly. And they've done just a lovely job. Just a lovely job. And there's a little slurry. Looks really hazy because of the rough grit. As you can see, it's going to need a little bit more. Just a little bit more, just a few more days. Maybe a whole week. See the imperfections. Okay. There's not really a whole lot to see here. This is the clear quartz. We were hoping these windows and these sharp angles and everything would stay, but it looks like it won't. So we learned that lesson. And that's okay. I have a whole lot more. I might leave some of it in rough, instead of tumbling it. Okay, I think this is definitely ready to move, to be recharged and stay in course. Sorry about that, a little sidetrack. So we tumbled this with some tiny bead ceramic media, and yeah, it kind of went down the drain outside. So I need a smaller mesh strainer for it, and to be able to catch that next time. Yeah, but I like the tiny bead on here. I think it preserved a lot of the mass. I think it helped these from banging into each other. And I think I might do the tiny media again with this. I don't know. I have to think about it. I have some small media. I might use the small media. So, yeah, okay. We're going to recharge this barrel and we'll see it next week. Here's our amethyst. It's a lovely, lovely deep purple. Said it was extra grade when we purchased the rough. And it's been running in 60-90 course for a week. It's just beautiful. Still needs another week. It's quite hard. I think it's a MOHS 7. Needs a lot of work. A lot of work. You may take some of the ceramic media out. There may have been too much in that tiny bowl, or tiny barrel. We have it running in the 1.5 pound barrel. And these are really large pieces. Some interesting inclusions in here. Holy cow. That definitely needs a lot of time in course 60-90. We've retained a lot of the mass, which is lovely. We do have some chips. Look at that. Such a very translucent purple. It's a tiny piece. Very pale. I don't know if that's going to make it through. Might just get crushed to death. I'm not sure. We do have some chipping that happened. So we want to get these little pieces out, add them to our other bag that we started last week when we were breaking this up. Here's more chips. Yeah, there's several more in here. Okay, let's take a look. You have to actually roll this because sometimes it's just stuck to the ceramic media on the other side. Like this one right here was stuck. Oop. Okay, I think that's it for our amethyst. I think we've caught all we could there. Let's get our chip bag. Okay. Here. Relatively smoothly. And all these little chips ready for our projects. Set it aside. Okay, and nothing fell off my hand and back into here. Cool. Alright. Let's move this back a little. And as you can see, this barrel is definitely still 2/3 full. But because we have all these little holes deep in here, and we want the grit to be able to move around, we want to add some small ceramic media. And I think that these large ones are going to be pulled out because it's not going to get us where we need. We need these little tiny ones to get into those spots and to help carry the grit to do the job. So we will separate this out and recharge the barrel, and we'll see it next week. Okay, bye Amethyst. Alright, we're back with our Yellow Jasper and our Serape Jasper. That we combined those two barrels because they are both Jaspers, MOHS Hardness 7. And, you know, there wasn't enough material to run on its own. So we had a big 6-pound barrel that we needed to fill, so we were able to combine these two, which was great because it lets us open up something else. But, now we need to see where we're going because this has been forever. I mean, this has been in 60/90 grit since August 8th. So that has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 full weeks. Today is September 27th. It's been 6 full weeks in course, and let's see where we're at. So we're going to start with this little Yellow Jasper, and you see how the druzy crystal, or the crystals that were in here, came out. And now we have this hole. It's quite deep. So this is, I don't know what to do with that. It's got a little chippage here, and as you can see, a piece of the ceramic media got stuck in the hole. So we need to get it out. Let me go flying once I get it out here. Oof. Well, we're going to set this aside and do it off camera. And as you can see, a piece of the small ceramic media was able to embed itself in that rock I just dropped. Was able to embed itself in here pretty well. Yeah, we're going to do this off camera to get that out of there. It's going to take far too much time. And as you can see, it got in there quite well. And there's another pocket opened up, so I just think that this piece will end up being a garden stone. I don't think we're going to move forward with this one. Okay. Let's start with the Serape Jasper because there's less of it. So again, little slurry got stuck. Now it's better. Slurry in here too. This is what we talk about. You don't want to let your stones dry out because this slurry will turn to cement. Imagine what it'll do to your pipes if you do it down your sink. You should never ever rinse your stones in your indoor plumbing. Do it outside with a hose. Okay. I wish I could say that this was ready to move forward to medium, but it's not. And we've gone so far, we're just going to go another week. So, Another week. And what's been happening is that this last week in course has dug out all the softer crystal that was in here. Yeah. This might be a good stone to crack in half. I don't know, what would you do? Put it in the comments below if you would crack this stone, since it has such a large fissure. If you'd pull it out for the garden, or how would you move forward with this particular stone? It's a Serape Jasper, the dark gray one. Okay, now this stuff has been sitting all afternoon. Not ready. Our favorite piece that we've been watching that was like ready to move to medium last week, but one little blemish. Let's see, how are we this week? Oh, this is wonderful. This little dot right here. We're going to move it to medium. We're going to put that in this water. Anything left in the water will be moving to medium. Oh, look at the pattern on that. Isn't that gorgeous? All the different colors. Wow. This is really super cool. I think that the top and the bottom need one more week. The rest of it's looking super. Yeah, there's still some blemishes. But it's getting really, really close. Yeah, that's obviously not moving forward. Let's go just a little bit, if you can see that. Just a rough spot. And there's one that's hiding under a bubble. Yeah, one more week in this one. Hopefully we'll be ready to move forward to medium. That Serape Jasper is super, super hard. It seems a lot harder than all the other Jaspers we've been working with. So I think that's it for the Serape Jasper. We're going to put it back in its barrel, we're going to recharge it, and we're going to let it go for another week. Now we have Yellow Jasper, which is also in that barrel. This feels so smooth. I think this one's ready to go to medium. So as you remember from previous videos, we have this Yellow Jasper chips, and it also has Kambaba Jasper chips in it, for little pieces that break off like these. So we know we've got some damage in the barrel this week. Here's some more. There's going to be a lot of yellow Jasper damage. For some reason, the Serape Jasper is like not damaging at all. Okay, let's take these, add them to our little bag. If it would stop zipping up on me. Let's see how many more we have. Probably a lot. So something interesting, while we're looking at all this, look at this small ceramic media. See how it's losing, it's cracking, and it's losing its mass. I think what we need to do is take all these ones that have cracked and throw them out. I think they've, done their purpose, and I think that they could just cause, they're like little chips. If this, went anywhere besides coarse grit, it could really cause problems. So we just need to make sure we get rid of that. Here's another chip. So that's kind of side note on ceramic media. It tends to round, which is great, so it doesn't cause damage or bruising. But these little tiny, the small ones are starting to split in half, and those we just have to get rid of. These are still good to use. So this is going to be fun. This is the only barrel I've really seen do this so far. So this ceramic media has been there all these weeks. And it's just wearing down. So here's a medium. No, excuse me, stays in course. Stays in course. See, we lost see how far down that goes? Well, it's just a grit catcher. Oh, that's interesting. Check that out. If it wasn't for this and this, it would be ready to move forward to medium. Boy, these are really turning out lovely. See, here's where the chips came off. So this definitely needs to go back into course to smooth that out. Hitting the light. Looks perfect. Looks perfect. Uh-oh, can't go. No, that needs work. These are really, 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 really close. I'm not going to predict. I'm just going to hope that by next week this will be ready to move to medium and finally leave the course stage. So on here, you see how there's this lighter quartz seam? It's starting to work its way out. Now we're getting like a little druzy tunnel. We'll see how bad it gets next week. Oh, I always liked this one. But right here, oh, I might move that to medium. Nope, I'm not gonna. Because I'll be sorry if I do. It'll just catch grit and then ruin the rest of the pile. Super close, just right here. Yeah, looks like that whole seam's gonna come out. This one's got issues. Ooh. No, it just looks like a fracture line, but it's not. It's just patterning. It does have a hole here and here and here. Medium. Or not medium, coarse. Coarse. Oh. Bummer. I mean, these are dry. Look at it, and look at how smooth and pretty, and they've got like a matte sheen. I wonder if I can move that to medium. No, we're just going to let it get perfect. It needs to go into medium. Oh, definitely medium. Definitely medium. Medium. Look at that large. Lovely. Oh, that. I wonder. Is that stone, or is that go through a lot of paper towel. Just gonna throw that out there. Came out. It's like it's got stuff hiding in there. It's so cool. Okay, one more week for that one. One more week for that one. Oh man, this was so close. Just that little piece. It's like they just have that one little tiny imperfection. Well, thank you for sticking with me while we, check all these little lovelies. It's very porous. Ooh. I don't know if that's ever going to do anything, but we're going to leave it in the core stage so it can be used to help facilitate the grit moving around, help cushion. Oh, this is so close. It's got a chip out of it there, and then that's rough. Super close. This stuff just seems like it's been running forever. Put that in the chip bag. Okay, let's see, how many more chips do we have? No, that's not a chip, that's a whole stone. I like how it has the red at the top. A little bit of that orange. Just a little bit there. A little chip there. All these little tiny pieces are going to have to come out. Oh. Chip. And we're going to do that off camera. And then we'll recharge this barrel. Oops. Looks like only one piece is ready for medium this week. Okay, we will be back with our tiger. Our tiger's eye, our gold and blue tiger's eye, and we'll see if it's ready to move forward. All right, be back shortly. Okay, we're back with our tiger Jasper. Our tiger's eye, sorry. And it's pretty dry. We're going to do our inspection. There's still some things we could work out. But I think some of these are ready to go to medium. Wow. Still a little something, but I wonder if the medium go. Oh no, that's gotta stay. Boy, that was like nails on a chalkboard. That one can move. Oh, not that one. Not that one either. Do you see that? There's a little bit down here. I don't know if you can see that. I wonder if a little bit more coarse, a little bit more time in coarse will get rid of that or make it worse. We're going to find out. I think this one's ready for medium. Well, this is great. We're getting some pieces that are ready to move on. It's wonderful. Right there. Boy, it's just amazing what water can do. There's some pitting there. And right there. That looks like bruising. I'm losing my voice here, sorry. There's some blue pieces. I think that could move on. See what medium will do. And we got this little tiny chip that came off before. We're going to let that continue on. just a little tiny bit. I think I had way too much filler in this barrel, so the grit really couldn't get to what it needed to do, and I think I had too much water. Look at that. You see all that pitting? I don't think that's going to come out. This might be a garden stone. But we're going to give it one more week in course before we make that decision. Whew. I think that can go to medium. Medium. Oh, I don't know. That should stay. That could go to medium. Lost a lot on that. Get a chunk out of that corner. Oh, this is rough. Alright, we're just moving right along here. And we have a few pieces that were ready for medium, and some that need to stay in coarse. So what I think is going to happen, so we might set this aside for a week and figure out what we're going to do with the barrel. Because really, this is all I have for coarse. We have no more tiger's eye chips that came off, so we can put this away. We're done with that. And this is all we have, so this would be perfect for a small barrel, of which I have no more available. I might have one available with the Kambaba Jasper. We'll have to see. Because I have a 6 pound and a 4 pound available, and they're both too big for this. So we might move the Kambaba because it's in a super fine pre-polish right now, and it might be able to go down to the smaller barrel. We're going to check it next and find out, and if so, that barrel, which is a 3 pounder, will be available for this, and then this can continue one more week in course, and all the rest is going to be moved to a holding pattern for medium grit. And I think that's it for Tiger's Eye right now. Alright, we will come back with the Kambaba Jasper. We're back with our Kambaba Jasper. It has spent 1 week in superfine 1000 aluminum oxide grit. And now we are going to do an inspection. See where we're at. It's just looking lovely, lovely, lovely. All the scratches are out. It's perfectly smooth and ready for polish. Yay! Let's dry it off. Alright, everything else we've been working with today has been at 60-90 grit, so we don't want to have any cross-contamination. Now, it is so smooth. I'm going to put this through a wash cycle. Wow. This ended up with a little mark on it, so we're not going to move it forward. And because it has a mark on it, and I've got this Kambaba Jasper that's been sitting here waiting for something to run for another medium, we're going to pop that in there. It can sit there, because it's going to have to go back a stage. Very beautiful. So this is going to go through a few wash cycles until the water runs absolutely super clear. And then we're going to put it into polish. Yay, I think we're finally ready for something to move to polish. Oh, this is just beautiful. So this is going to go into a polish barrel that we've been holding on to and waiting. And the barrel, the 3-pound barrel this has been sitting in, will be able to take that tiger's eye for coarse. So yeah, everything's moving nicely. That's going to leave us with a 6-pound and a 4.5-pound barrel ready to run some other stones. How completely fantastic is that? It's always fun starting new stuff, and it's always fun putting stuff in polish. And frankly, the whole thing is fun. Just gets a little frustrating when some things take so bloody long. But in the end, we will be very happy we had patience and we waited, because these are going to be just perfect. So when we run this through a really good, the barrel, the ceramic material, everything gets run through a really good wash with Dreft and borax, and 2-3 times until the water runs clear. And then we'll be able to put this in our aluminum oxide polish. So, yeah. Just get it wet. Wow. These stones are so nice. Really upset this has got a chip on it. It's got a chip, it's gonna go. Alright, since our 45C is available, we're going to put it, fill it with Unakite. And some really beautiful Unakite. Really nice pieces. Lots of lovely color. We've got just enough to fill this little beauty. Nice different variants and sizes. We already have our first chip. It hasn't even gone in. Lost our focus. So let's just start a little baggie of Unakite chips. And set that aside. Oh. Let's add some ceramic media. Not a whole lot though. Just want to be able to get down into all the crevices. Now this one we're going to do a little different. We're going to put the heavy course 4670 in here. And we're going to use less of it. So I would normally use 4 tablespoons for this size bowl or barrel, but I'm only going to use 3. I'm going to use 2.5 because it's such a heavier grit. And we'll see what happens at the end of the week. If we could use just a little bit more. Don't want to use too much here. Let's add some water. Let's see. As usual, when we get to the end of these barrels, usually out of water. There. That looks promising. Alright, Unakite. We will see you next week. Fingers crossed, you won't be all eaten away by the 4670. Let's see. No, could we use a little more cushioning? I think we could. Also not really quite 2/3 full. I think we will just use the rest of that. You see, we still have quite a bit of space left in our barrel. I think that's better. I feel better anyhow. Alright, we're going to put this on the tumbler and we have one more barrel to fill. Be right back. Isn't this beautiful? This is Labradorite. Look, the color that you're seeing, that flash, is called labradorescence. Kind of see it right in here. So this rough is all wet. It shines up really pretty. So I can't wait to see how this is going to progress. Labradorite. Okay. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we're up for it. We'll see you next week.